Hello, everybody. All right, I'm in a different place today, I know. Um, yeah, just some days when you've got depression and anxiety, you just need a little more of the natural light. So I'm in a different room today. So, woohoo, you get to see some more exciting spots of my apartment. And today we're going to talk about low self esteem and lies and launching your comeback. So, um, I have low self esteem. Surprise, surprise, right? Once upon a time, I didn't think of this as being a bad thing or a detriment because, okay, honestly, I really dislike people who are, arrogant or have that overly inflated sense of importance. Um, Being humble and unassuming never did strike me as a bad thing. Now, I've seen that having low self esteem has made me vulnerable to believing lies from other people, especially lies about myself. So, join me as I launch my comeback, the new Lilly 2.0. My latest version has higher self esteem, believes fewer lies, and has stopped or is stopping gaslighting myself because that comes along with all the lies. Welcome to Lily's Anti-Depressant Life. My goal is for this to be a safe place to discuss the hard truths about being a depression warrior without having to worry about judgment or criticism, because it's hard enough to battle depression without the added weight of feeling like we're all alone, because we aren't. I recently wrote an article called The Vulnerable Prey, Low Self-Esteem and the Narcissist Trap. And in it, I delve into the idea that having low self-esteem makes me a magnet, attracting narcissistic people in pretty much all areas of my life. I can't seem to shake them. They like me because of what makes me me. So let me tell you a little bit about me. Um, as humble as I can be, I am a kind person and I'm sweet and I'm caring. I am empathetic and sympathetic, and I tend to look out for the well being of everybody, people, children, animals. I'm always looking out for others. I was an early education teacher, so I have quite a lot of patience. I also have it ingrained into my being to try to always encourage other people to be beacons of good in the world, because everyone's got this power of amazingness. Let's use that power for good instead of evil. Just think how fabulous our world could be. Now, I know I'm not perfect, and I never try to act like I am. I know I make mistakes. I mess up big time. I don't know everything. I'm still a work in progress, like you are too. And these are all good qualities for a human being to possess. We're not supposed to be at our best already. We're supposed to be always striving to be better. But I have found that there is a downside too. Even being sweet and kind and caring. Um, I never want to hurt anybody's feelings, so I sometimes accept treatment that I shouldn't. I accept blame way too easily because I embrace my humanness. Um, Maybe I thought I remembered something one way, but maybe it was something different. To me, it makes no difference. I'm not going to fight to be right. That's not my personality. It's just not a big deal. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. This sounds good because I like people who are like this, but it is my Achilles heel. Accepting that I am not perfect ends up being an Achilles heel because there are people in this world who insist that they are perfect, even when they are clearly in the wrong. My narcissist loved to bring up old issues where I messed up. And I am human, so I do mess up. Sometimes a lot. We all do. I remember once I was parking a car in the lot of our apartment building, and I just cut the corner and I scraped the side against the cement carport. It was like a big scratch on the edge. It was a pretty big oops, right? I felt horrible about it, so guilty. I felt like it was avoidable and I shouldn't have done it. And forget about the fact that the word accident means accident. I didn't even sleep well for several nights because I felt so guilty about it. My narcissist told me not to worry about it. It was no big deal, etc. But then he would bring it up every chance he could for the next 20 years. If he got a speeding ticket, he'd say, hey, remember when you scraped that carport? Or he would sometimes make me nervous because he would drive distracted. And when I'd be like, oh, did you see that car or something like that? He'd be like, yeah, I'm in charge. Remember when you hit the car? Like, for some reason, that made me an inferior person. It's like I messed up once and it forever branded me as a complete failure. These are lies. I know these are lies. I have worked, oh my gosh, my entire life to teach my children and all the students I've ever had that we all make mistakes and it's okay. No one is expected to be perfect. We all have bad days. Believing in the lie that I am not good enough or valuable because I am human has given me low self-esteem, and it's not a good gift to get. Low self-esteem doesn't make me more agreeable or easier to get along with. It just makes me vulnerable to attracting unhealthy people into my life. The people that like to place blame on others. These are lies. There is a connection between low self-esteem and lies. I have low self-esteem, so I tend to believe when someone does tell me a lie. For example, I must be a horrible driver because I had that accident. Oh, and I'm a woman, and women are stereotypically bad drivers, so I must just be a stupid woman who is a bad driver. Is this true? Absolutely not. I'm actually a really good driver. But it was so easy to let that lie seep into my psyche. The lies that we hear become lies that we tell ourselves. That's the tricky bridge. And lies have a deep emotional impact, especially when it comes from someone you're trusting. It hurts. So the first thing I want you to understand is that feeling betrayed, hurt, or disillusioned by someone who is lying to you and preying on your low self-esteem, that is a normal response. And don't let anyone tell you those feelings make you somehow unworthy. Lies also erode self-esteem, leading one to question their own judgment, their worth, their authenticity of their relationships. My narcissist held that mistake of mine over my head for so many years, yet he never took accountability for his own mess-ups. I felt like I was such a mess, so unreliable, so undeserving of anything good. I mean, it was almost like, why should I even have a car to drive if I can't even take better care of it? This is one mistake. One accident that I had back when I was 22. We have to let go of those lies. It's hard. It's really hard, and I get it. But the only way we're going to build up our self-esteem is by letting go of those lies. Recovering from experiences that shake our self-esteem and trust, particularly when deception is involved, is a journey. And it requires patience, self-care, and a deliberate effort to rebuild yourself from within. Here's how you can navigate this path with strength and grace. First and foremost, embrace self-compassion. Recognize that healing is not an overnight process, and it's entirely natural to mourn the loss of trust and to confront feelings of hurt deeply. Such emotions don't reflect weakness. They signify your depth of caring and the significance of your values. Allow yourself the space to grieve and understand that this process is not linear. Some days will feel like a step forward, and others a step back, and sometimes up and then down and back and forth. And it's a journey. And through all this, practice self-kindness. Remind yourself of your worth beyond the hurt, and know that your feelings are valid and important. Then you need to rebuild your self-esteem. That's challenging because everybody's going to have a different journey. It's personal, and it needs to be empowering to you. So what works for me isn't going to work for you. But here are some steps to guide you along this path. Engage in meaningful activities. So focus on something that promotes a sense of accomplishment and joy, whether it's a hobby or learning a new skill or dedicating time to a cause you care about. These experiences can significantly boost your sense of self-worth. Super important one here. Seek supportive relationships. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who recognize your value. Supportive relationships can provide the encouragement and definitely the right perspective that you need to see yourself in a more positive light. This is another tough one, but you need to start practicing some positive self-talk. The narratives we tell ourselves shape our self-image. And so when you've heard these lies and then you start telling yourself these lies, it is shaping you. Make a conscious effort to silence that inner critic and replace negative thoughts with affirmations of your strengths and accomplishments and qualities, because you know you're pretty fantastic. Take ownership of that. Okay, finding forgiveness. I know we're getting all the big heavy things, aren't we? But forgiveness in this context is not about absolving the deceiver of their actions, but allowing yourself to find peace and move forward. It's a release from the burden of anger and resentment, not for their sake, they don't deserve it, but for your own mental and emotional liberation. Understanding that forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself can be transformative. It doesn't mean you condone the deceit or that you can carry on with the relationship as it once was. Instead, it's acknowledging the pain and learning from the experience and choosing not to let it define or confine you. I wrote an article called Forcefully Forgiving, Only the Strong Can Do It. And that can be found on Tiny Buddha website. In it, I share my idea of how forgiveness can be possible, even when dealing with a narcissist who quite literally doesn't understand how wrong their actions have been. Forgiveness is a deeply personal process, and it may require time and reflection. It's okay to take this process slowly and seek support from your friends, your family, and professionals. All these people you trust who can guide you through it. So, the most important aspect of forgiveness, at least in my opinion, is forgiving myself for being deceived. I look at the good in people. I try to build others up. I believe people. It's not my fault that someone has taken advantage of that. So it's important to forgive myself, to free myself from the chains of bitterness and resentment. Okay, launching our comeback. Embarking on a journey of recovery and self-reinvention after a period of deceit can feel daunting, yet it's also a powerful opportunity to redefine your path and emerge stronger. Here's how you can start this transformative process. Set goals. Set personal and professional goals. This is a vital step in reclaiming your life and steering it toward fulfillment and success. Goals give you the direction. They motivate you to push past challenges and offer a sense of purpose. Start small. Start with small, achievable little steps that can lead to bigger aspirations. Whether it's improving your health, advancing your career, taking up a new hobby, each goal is a building block in reconstructing a life defined by your terms and desires. I mentioned this briefly earlier, but you've got to seek support. The isolation that comes with deceit can be profound, but you don't have to navigate your comeback alone. Lean on your friends and your family and professionals. A support system can provide not just emotional solace, but also practical advice and different perspectives that can enrich your journey. Consider joining support groups or communities with similar experiences. There's strength in numbers, and shared stories can forge bonds and foster healing. Celebrate the small wins. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory in the context of recovery. Celebrate those moments, whether it's reaching a new milestone, making a new connection, or simply having a day where you can say, that person is not telling me the truth, and I'm not gonna fall for it. That's a celebration, and this nurtures a positive mindset, crucial for overcoming setbacks and continuing on our journey with determination. It's also therapeutic to share your story. You don't have to. Some people don't like that. They don't like to open up. But you might help somebody else. That's my big goal for being on here. I want to help other people and say, hey, look, this is something I've gone through. This is something I'm going through currently. You're not alone. We all go through these things. My 3 o'clock Wednesday blog is on lillystrong.com. That's Lilly with 3 L's. LILLYSTRONG. And it's all about empowering yourself with grace, affirmations, and self-care. Check it out and you'll see some inspiration. One of the things that I'm doing for this past Wednesday is a challenge. And it's called the 3 o'clock Wednesday challenge. And I'm challenging everybody to create a personal mantra. A mantra is like a saying that empowers and uplifts you. And mine is, I am Lily, I am strong. Super simple. It's something that has really carried me through a lot of dark days. It gives me strength. It gives me empowerment. It gives me hope. So for the challenge, I want you to create your own mantra. You can use mine or use something else and write it down. Write it down and then look at it every day for the next week. I want this mantra to propel you forward with encouragement. I wrote mine down on a piece of paper and had it beside my bed, and I saw it every night before I went to bed and every morning when I woke up. Literally every day. I am Lily, I am strong. And that's supported by tentative steps on the days when I felt weakest and emboldened my decisions on the days I needed courage. I'd love if you would share your mantra with me. Write it down in the comments for others to see. And be sure to also subscribe to follow more discussions in our safe place. But I just want to end by saying, if you're like me, if you have low self-esteem, if you've been a victim of lies from other people that turned into self-gaslighting, it's now your time. It's the time to launch your comeback. This is it. We're going to be amazing, and we're going to get through this. I hope you guys have a great day.